Hello and welcome. You're with us here on the brand new collab show between Business Today and India Today, coming to you from Bengaluru this morning, where we're here for the Business Today AI Summit, bringing you all the latest as markets get set to open for the day. Let's take you through the top news, latest in the corporate and financial space this morning. Markets around the world have their sights on the South Korean port city of Busan, where Donald Trump is meeting his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. Trump says he's hoping for a trade deal, even as Jinping says it's okay to not always see eye to eye. Gold slumps as both leaders set towards a conciliatory tone. The US Fed Reserve cuts interest rates by 25 basis points for the second time in as many months, but stock markets rattled by the Fed's statement that another cut in December is not a done deal. FOMC, the 12-member rate, is divided like never before, with the longest ever US government shutdown blocking economic reports. Overnight, some big news related to AI. Nvidia becomes the first ever company to hit $5 trillion in valuation as demand for its AI chips surge. Reports say OpenAI is getting ready for biggest IPO of all times, valuing the company at $1 trillion. Google results ride on surging enterprise demand for AI to beat all estimates. Q2 results season heats up. 82 companies report their earnings today. ITC likely steady on cigarette growth, but FMCG margins to remain soft. Cipla seen stable. NTPC, Adani Power, DLF, Hyundai, Pidilite and Dabur also in focus. In his first public appearance since the Ahmedabad crash, Air India CEO pledges continued support for the families of the victims, says working on final settlements, reiterates that there was no fault found with the aircraft. Airspace closure by Pakistan after Operation Sindoor adds 4,000 crore rupees to Air India's costs. All right, President Xi Jinping and President Trump are meeting face-to-face, one-on-one for the first time in 6 years. This is the big meeting that we've got our eyes on this morning. We're really closely tracking developments that come in through that. It's expected to lay the grounds for a truce, of course, in a bruising fight between the two superpowers on trade and technology. They convened at the airport, the South Korean port city of Busan. Trump and Xi enter the summit with a framework hashed out by the US and Chinese negotiators earlier in the week in discussions that cover topics from export controls on Chinese rare earths as well as US technology to purchases of agricultural products. So lots was on the table there. Trump has earlier said the US expects to lower tariffs on China in exchange for cooperation in cracking down on the export of chemicals used to produce fentanyl. Under the framework deal, China is also expected to promise to buy large amounts of soybeans from American farmers after depriving them of purchases this year in retaliation for Trump's tariffs. And another big global news, the Fed rate cut. However, we did see the Fed Reserve divided like never before. In fact, they've warned that divisions are there within its rate-setting panel, and they're still cautious going ahead, making the expected rate cut in December fairly uncertain. Listen in.
Higher tariffs are pushing up prices in some categories of goods, resulting in higher overall inflation. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. In the committee's discussions at this meeting, there were strongly differing views about how to proceed in December. A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. Far from it. Policy is not on a preset course.
Powell also spoke of the impact of AI on jobs, saying that, yes, companies have been hiring fewer younger graduates. Let's listen into this as well.
You don't see it in the aggregate numbers. The layoff numbers have not gone up, but job creation is very low, and the job finding rate for people who are unemployed is very low. To start with the layoffs, you're right. You see a significant number of companies either announcing that they are not going to be doing much hiring or actually doing layoffs, and much of the time they're talking about AI and what it can do. So we're watching that very carefully, and yes, it could absolutely have implications for job creation. We don't really see it in the initial claims data yet. Now, it's not a surprise that we don't. It takes some time for it to get in there, but we're watching that really carefully.
All right, let's take a look at how the markets are doing this morning. We've got Shell joining us as always, and Rajesh Palria as well on views on where we're headed from here. Shell, let's take a look at the setup first. We've of course got the global overhang, but we've also got a lot of earnings to track today.
Good morning to you, Abha, and to our viewers. A very warm welcome from Bengaluru from our side. We've closed above 26,000 yesterday, so that's a very big plus. And Abha, I remain adamant. We are going to see a new high very soon on the Nifty. 26,277 is what we are looking at. Everything is in sync. More importantly, one more day tomorrow, and October's turned out to be very well for the Nifty, 5.8% higher. NSE 500 is at a record high. Mid caps are following suit, and there is no reason why the first week of November should not see a fresh peak on the Nifty. We will then evaluate where the market goes from 26 to 77.
Okay. Rajesh, good morning. Good to have you with us. Market set for a slight negative tick on opening, but as Shell said, new highs have been seen and are continued to be in the offing.
Good morning, Abha. Good morning, Shelji. So, looking at the broader market, we believe that, yes, we are going to see a new all-time high trajectory in November series. Maybe it may take another couple of weeks, but looking at the sectorial rotation and the kind of positive sentiment which we have seen in last couple of weeks, and mid cap, small cap space is also doing good. So we believe that, in the November series, yes, there is a high possibility that, we could scale up to the new all-time high trajectory for Nifty. And Bank Nifty is comfortably holding strength, and the way most of the large cap private as well as PSU banks are showing traction, we believe that, Bank Nifty can also continue furthermore upside, and we could see a higher target of 58,800 to 59,000 for Bank Nifty also. So for Nifty, at this juncture, I think one should hold their position. A minor decline should be used as a buying opportunity till Nifty is trading about 25,800, 850 zone. I think trend is likely to exhibit on the bullish side. And a lot of sector like, power, metal, as well as banking, automobile, all these sectors are, showing sign of, as well as oil marketing companies also showing sign of, buying action. So I think most of the large cap as well as, broader market is showing a sign of confidence. So we do have bullish view for November series at this juncture, and we are projecting target of 26,300 to 400 in the near term to short term perspective.
Okay, so that gives us a good view of the setup of the markets. From the earnings basket, just a quick call ahead of opening, Rajesh. HPCL, we did see a beat on estimates. L&T, despite a really good set of numbers, but falling short of estimates, it seems. Quick call on whether you'll be tracking those on opening bell.
So in the Petro, yes, very strong buying action has been seen in the previous day itself, and stock managed to view breakout of its previous swing high of October series. Looking at the chart formation, we believe that, the kind of chart structure is now placed. Stock has managed to view breakout of multiple supply zone. So continuity of uptrend would be there. We are projecting target of 485 to 490 for Hind Petro. One can buy and accumulate with a stop loss of 458.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause you there, Rajesh. We've got the opening bell on our screen. Let's go through some of the opening ticks and see where we're at. I'm going to just pull up some of the gainers and losers this morning. on your screens as well. We're expecting a marginal downtick, and I think that's where we've opened up today, but still above that 26,000 mark. And if we take a look at the larger market, Nifty Bank also opening with a slight downward tick, just down about 0.2% right now. We've got the index also looking to break 26,000, but as Shell said, it's momentary according to him. That's where we're trending right now on the index. In terms of stocks in particular that we'll be tracking, we'll pull up some of those newsmakers for you. But Shell, I'm actually just going to toss across to you. I'm looking at the screen. We are seeing some gains. L&T is up about 0.5% on earnings as expected. It's markets expected an even better net profit number, but fantastic numbers otherwise on an L&T. What are you tracking on your screens?
Abha, I think we'll pay attention to the mid-cap space today. The Nifty Mid-Cap 100 Index will reclaim a fresh peak in the market. So you have BHEL doing very well, 1.7% higher. NBCC in top form, 1% higher. Divi's Lab is going pretty strong in the F&O space. Policy Bazaar, this is the top gainer as far as markets are concerned in the F&O space, 3% higher. And the old favorite in the market, Suzlon coming back, very high beta, low ticket item, now at a kissing distance from 60 rupees, 1.6% higher. Overall, the advanced decline is 1:1. So early moments there in the market so far. I won't put a lot of emphasis on the frontline counters, but I'll pay a lot of attention to mid caps and small caps at this point of time. Sector rotation, Abha, will now take place for these indices to reclaim their previous glory, mid caps and small caps. Play 4.5% higher, actually 8% higher at 55. From the NBFC space, 5-star is doing extremely well, 630 for you, 4% higher. Policy Bazaar I've already marked. Amongst the losers at the moment, results led Dr. Reddy's 1198, 4.5% lower. Indus Stars slipping about 2.9% lower at 390. Blue Dart, after yesterday's stunning 20% upper circuit, is down a bit, 2.4% lower. This is pure profit booking, but very active trades on BHEL. Let's speak to Rajesh Palvia. Rajesh ji, a view on BHEL. What are the charts telling you? Top traded on the NSE today.
Rajesh, if you can hear us, I think a view on BHEL.
And the way stock has shown buying action in last couple of trading session, and now stock is comfortably trading above to its previous swing high breakout level of 244. So I think if it's continues to trade about 244, maybe we could see furthermore, buying action to continue, as short covering is already played out in this counter. And power theme is showing a sign of strength in last trading session. Also, we have seen most of the power related stocks have done well. So BHEL is looking promising on the near term chart. The way stock has given breakout, I think if it's a hold 244, possible target towards 260, 265 we may see in the near term perspective.
Okay, Rajesh, I want to get your top picks. I know you've given us your sectoral picks, but if I had to pin you down on your top 3 stocks right now, what would they be?
So, looking at the broader market, we believe that the theme which can do well in the near term as well as on the short term is banking is one theme where we are focusing, and I think continuity of uptrend would be there in banking stocks. So, from that space, two stock idea like IndusInd Bank is looking promising. The trend reversal has been taken place in this counter. Stock was in downtrend, but looking at last 2 3 week price behavior, we believe that here we could see good up move 835 to 840. We are projecting target for positional perspective. On the downside, 790 needs to keep as a stop loss. Again, SBI is also looking promising from that space. As I mentioned about power space, so I think Tata Power is another stock where we are focusing, and we are projecting target of 425 to 430. On the downside, 395 needs to keep as a stop loss. And as Shelji touched upon Sujlon, here also there is a fresh breakout. So from power space, I think Sujlon is also looking promising, and we believe that if it continues to trade above 56 level, there is a possibility that stock may extend gain towards 62 to 64 kind of level in the continuation of this up move. And the third space where we are focusing is metal space. A lot of metal stocks managed to give breakout on the near term as well as on the short term chart. So from that space, Tata still is our preferred choice. The way stock is holding above 180 mark, I think if it continues to hold above 180, possible target towards 190 to 195 we may see in the near term perspective. So these are all three themes where we are focusing for near term to short term.
Okay, at the Business Today AI Summit here in Bengaluru, we spoke to Karnataka IT and BT Minister Priyank Kharge. Let's listen in to how he's employing AI across governance here in Karnataka.
You will still ask me, am I afraid of competition? No, we are not. We thrive in it. It also keeps us ahead of the curve. Now, when we when we first got in the IT policy, they said, "Arey, IT policy se kya hoga kya?" We were the first one to have the IT policy, BT policy, the startup policy, the electronic vehicles and manufacturing policy, engineering and research and development policy. We were the first one to have the battery energy storage policy. We were the first one to come up with the draft space tech policy. We were the first ones to come up with the global capability centers policy. So we have always had the first movers advantage where other people have followed us. E-governance is using AI to detect, to count livestock using muscle printing. So apparently livestock have different patterns on their noses, and the muscle printing technology is being used to count livestock. So we are using it in processes. We are seeing how we can ensure we can cut down the paperwork for citizens and for officials also, to ensure that the delivery of governance and the decision time taking for governance will be lesser. So there are multiple cases. I think right now we are using more than 25 to 30 tools across different departments to figure this out. And to ensure that we don't lose this edge of computing, we are designing a hardware that will be India's most low-cost hardware for computing at the grassroots. That will be a game changer.
Okay, Rajesh, you spoke about banks earlier. So even there, I just want to pull out a few picks from you, particularly on those public sector banks, and given the kind of news flow we've seen on the reform front there. Anything within that basket that's catching your eye?
So I think from public sector bank, I think SBI is the sector leader, and I think the way stock is making higher top, higher bottom formation. So here one can focus, and the way stock has given a breakout on the long-term chart, we believe that this stock has potential to move to the 4-digit kind of target. So initially we are projecting target of 980 to 1000 for near-term to short-term perspective for SBI. Buy and accumulate would be the strategy. On the downside, one needs to keep a stop loss towards 905. Again, if we look at the small PSU banks, so I think from that basket, most of the stock like, Bank of India, Canara Bank, all these stocks are looking promising. But again, if I have to select one stock, so I think I would go with Bank of India. Here there is a breakout on the weekly chart, and we believe that, till stock is trading above 136, possible target towards 155, 160 we may see on the positional perspective.
All right, Rajesh, thanks so much for joining us. We're tracking some action in L&T, of course, this morning on earnings. HPCL also earnings impact coming in there. So both those stocks moving nicely on the back of that. Other than that, HPL Engines, Indian Bank from the broader markets, and of course, Canara Bank, as Rajesh mentioned, continues to be on everyone's list really within the PSU banking basket. Other than that, a huge amount of these new age tech companies continue to be in the news. We've got Lenskart IPO opening tomorrow. We've got Boat filing, even though the IPO size is now going to be smaller. And we've got Swiggy in the news for a prospective QIP. So lots in the works when it comes to that segment of the market, and we'll continue to track that for you. But for now, we'll leave it here. Shail, Rajesh, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll come back with market closing at 3 o'clock.